My grandma was a woman who loved life as much as she hated my dad. She was always trying to get me to turn against him. Her favorite way was this little game called Different Allegations on Who Your Father Really Is. I'd be in my room, burning crayons, trying to smell color. She would come in, Mijo, this is your real dad. And my mind would explode with confusion as she showed me the obituary of some fool I've never seen before. She did this repeatedly throughout my childhood. It really had a negative effect. So you fast forward to adult life. Chris broke up with me because he said I couldn't express my emotions properly. And I told him, hey, that's not fair, fool, because you don't know what it's like to lose 4 fathers. Me and my grandma graduated high school the same year. Let me explain how. The year I walked the stage is the year my grandma got her GED. It was the same year everyone in my family got a framed and autographed copy of that GED for Christmas. My grandma had a strong mind that she was not afraid to express, which made it harder to accept her mental decline as she aged and developed Alzheimer's. I would go visit it and I would get angry because she couldn't recognize who I was anymore. She would always get me confused with other members of my family. One time she got me confused with my skinnier, more successful cousin. That's a girl. She just kept grabbing my rat tail. Mija, wahapa. Wahapa. And this was a real emotional crossroads because I knew I couldn't be selfish and get angry. These moments were about my grandma's happiness. And I knew her well enough to understand exactly what made her happy. So I did what any loving person would do. I lied to her. Started visiting with my copy of her GED. Hey, Grandma, just taking a break from going to church with my 5 kids to show you my new degree. Mira, Harvard, class of yesterday. I was on my way to visit when my mom called me to let me know that she was being rushed to the hospital, where she eventually passed. And a few weeks after her funeral, my family got together at her favorite Mexican restaurant, where they have free-range mariachis. I don't know if you've ever experienced free-range mariachis, but you can't defend yourself against the free-range mariachis. You sit down, they walk up, pump a little air, lay a couple eggs, then you own $45. I was sitting next to my grandpa while everyone was coming by to give their condolences. He just sat there with a stoned face, nodding quietly. And I remember thinking how impressed I was by his ability to remain balanced through tragedy. But then I look over, this fool's hearing aids just flown in a cup of sweet tea. He saw the free-range mariachis coming. After dinner, my aunt stood up to make an announcement. I knew it was gonna be serious because she rarely stands. And she let everyone know that she was gonna pass out some gifts. I got excited, I thought my grandma left me a $5. I was like, hell yeah, if one will buy 2 lottery tickets and a cigarette. And my aunt eventually made her way over. She handed me an envelope with my name spelled wrong. Ronald. I started to open it and she stopped me. No, that's Grandma. She put my grandma's ashes in the envelope like she was sending in a late electric bill. She couldn't even put her in a Coke bag. I didn't know what to do with it, so I went home, I put it in my junk drawer next to my measuring tape and some AAA batteries. I just kind of forgot about it. What I didn't forget about a few months later were the multiple hits of acid I had stored in the same drawer. I had a rare 2 days off from work. 2 days is a vacation. I like to party on vacation, so I took the acid. Sat down on the couch, started practicing my 1997 Honda Accord impression. I was about to switch from third or fourth gear when I started having what science calls an old school freak out. Because in my acid mind, I just ate my grandma's ashes. I laid back on the couch, tried to relax by staring at the ceiling, but the ceiling was made of those little balls of texture that shape-shifted into my grandma with Jesus in heaven. And I got starstruck. Jesus? I heard of this fool. And then my grandma started to speak. Mijo. Mijo. Then she took a deep breath. And she gave me a nose pop. And I was so confused. When did my grandma turn into Mexican Dracula? Mijo.